I wanted to show people what it was like to be someone invited to those events. So it wasn't because I wanted free shit, guys. It was because I wanted to share it with my followers. I just wanted to throw that out there because I feel like I could rant on this and, not get hate. If I were to tweet the same thing, I'd get hate. You know what I mean?
Well, don't worry. We don't get a lot of views on this podcast.
Hey, man, get the views up, man. Share the podcast, man.
APTHCRY on the wave. Shoes off, pause, yeah, let's get it. Shoes off, but the vibes stay loud. APTHCRY heat, yeah, I'm flexing in the crowd. Socks on the scene, that's a subtle little flex. Talking.
Yo, what's up, guys? And thank you so much for tuning in to the Shoes Off podcast. This episode is one I've been looking forward to for a really long time, man. One of the OG sneaker YouTubers, one of the OG YouTubers, because you've been doing this for a minute.
2007.
Literally one of the OG YouTubers. And a good friend of mine. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Qias Omar.
What's up, man? I'm glad to be here.
Bro, I appreciate you. Well, I'm out in your city right now.
Yeah, you are, man. SoCal, welcome.
Yes, sir.
How's the weather on the East Coast compared to here?
It sucks, man. It's really hot and it's muggy.
Yeah, it's perfect here.
I know, dude.
Perfect.
It's crazy.
Especially we're in OC right now. OC, like I was telling him, like I prefer to come hang out here versus LA because LA gets hectic, but OC's like chill, calm, great weather, good people, great food. I just took you to my homie's restaurant.
Shout out, what was it called?
Craft by Smoke and Fire.
Check it out. Seriously,
it's really
good.
good. It's really good. Yeah, it's close to Disney. So if you ever come to Disney, check out Craft by Smoke and Fire, check out if you want to buy sneakers, my boy's retail store, Private Sneakers. I'm already doing plugs,
bro. Let's go. That's great. That's great, man. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Of course, man.
Dude, I've been wanting, like I said, I've been wanting to talk to you for a while, and I kind of want to hear your story from like the beginning, the stuff that people don't really get to hear about you. Because I mean, because you've been doing it so long, you've had this like crazy journey, I'm sure of ups and downs, but when I started YouTube, you were like the guy. I mean, you're still the guy. Can't take it away from you.
I was him at the moment.
Dude, you were him. Like in sneakers, you were. And what's crazy, and not to keep talking about myself, but what's crazy is that there are two people who put me on initially. It was Virgil Abloh and it was you.
That's crazy.
Bro,
that's a crazy thing to say.
Dude, I was thinking about it on the flight over, bro.
Bro, that's actually dope.
For real, because you put out, I did a crew collection video, which you put out for me, which I appreciate. And
you were on there.
I was on crew collection, dude.
There was a lot of them, so I don't remember.
Hey, you know what? Fair enough. It got me a couple thousand subscribers.
No way. Yeah. I always felt like that was, not to like toot my own horn, but that was something that I felt like was a really cool thing that I did. Again, I'm not trying to gas myself up, but I really wanted to use my platform, which was still up and coming at the time, to be able to put on for other people. And I know like even like people who I was watching before I started sneaker YouTube wanted to be a part of it.
Right.
Like Sneakerhead in the Bay, shout out to Alex. Like he wanted to be on it, so we put him on it. But Blake Linder, like it got to the point too where people were offering me money to be on it. They're like, hey, because I would tell people like, hey, I have like 4 videos already. People were like, yo, put me at the top of the list. Dang. I might have taken a few, bribes. But yeah, it was a cool thing that I came up with, and I didn't know that you were on there.
Yeah,
that's
man.
Cool. That's
cool.
I got to go back and find that. You probably still had like your ears pierced.
I'm sure it was cringy, dude. It was awful. I had like 4 pairs of sneakers at the time too. Yeah, but dude, so tell me about the beginning. Like, how did it all start for you with YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, I actually started like filming like skits and stuff when I was a kid, like before social media or before internet.
Right.
My dad was always like filming. Like he used to go rent cameras when they were like the size of like a missile. Like it was huge. He would like rent cameras and like bring them to like family parties, or just even if we were just at the house, like he'd film me and my sister growing up. So I was always around like recording and cameras and stuff. So when I got a little bit older, maybe like 5th or 6th grade, not a little bit older, I was still young, 5th or 6th grade, I started using those cameras. And then obviously he bought his own eventually, and I would use those cameras to just like film little skits and stuff and show them at my family parties. And then obviously as time went on, the internet started to become big, and then MySpace was popping. So in high school,
MySpace,
bro, I was on MySpace before YouTube.
That's dope.
We uploaded some of the skits on MySpace when I was in high school, and they started to get a couple views, nothing crazy, maybe like 100 views or 150 views. But at the time,
that's decent for MySpace.
I started going from like a nobody in my high school to people like, oh, I saw your video, that shit was hella funny. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right, cool. That shit was hella funny, blah blah blah. I didn't become like the most popular kid, but it was like cool to get people's reactions, because that's what I love to do. Is I love to see my family's reaction. Like me and my cousins would make a skit, we'd put it on for them, and they would just crack up. So I would love to just see how they would react to something we made.
Right.
So now the internet's out, MySpace is out. I put the videos on there and kind of see, you know, people's comments and reactions to it. And then obviously YouTube came out. I think it was 05, 06.
It's 20th anniversary. Yeah, it must have been 05.
Yeah,
I
05.
mean, we're out here at VidCon, so that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally for the 20th anniversary. So it must have been 05, yeah.
So I was so loyal to MySpace at the time.
Oh,
like, it was that
wow.
platform. I was like, nah, I don't want to do YouTube. So I didn't do YouTube
Right.
for like the first 2 years. That's why I started in 07.
That's wild.
And then one of my family friends, he was like, yo, you got to do YouTube. This is going to be the next big thing. And then I was like, all right, fine. So I started doing YouTube. I was doing mainly like skits around like the Afghan culture, Middle Eastern culture. I was into sneakers, but I never thought to do that until later. So if you go back to my Qias Omar channel, like the first like 10, 20 videos were just like themed around like Middle Eastern life or Afghan skits, stuff like that. It's still funny. You might not understand what we're saying in there because it's mainly in our language. But yeah, that was that. And then eventually YouTube just took over, and I was still worked. Like, I didn't make my first YouTube check until like 2012, and that was like $100. So from 07 to like 2012, I was just doing it for the love of it.
That's awesome.
I still got some opportunities here and there, not like big paychecks, but like got invited to like events and like, you know, little I think our first event was like in Canada. It was like this small college of like
that's cool.
some people who wanted to bring us out to do like a live skit.
That's dope.
Which was really cool. But then 2012 got to Google AdSense, and then started make like a couple $100, but not enough to, you know, make it have a living off of it. And then I was working at like Express at the time. I was working at like Nike Outlet at the time. I had like 4 or 5 different retail jobs. I dropped out of college. I was in community college, but like after I graduated high school, I knew I wanted to do something with like filmmaking. And I tried to go to community college because that's what my parents wanted to do. But eventually I just stopped going, and I didn't tell them till later. But I was working retail, doing YouTube. And then I don't know if you wanted me to go this deep and tell you the whole story or not.
Bro, I want to hear it.
But yeah, basically what happened was 2012, I think it was 2012, I launched Crew TV, which was like my vlog channel. Because I had seen other people like vlogging, and I'm like, okay, I'm doing skits on Qias Omar, but I want to do vlogs on Crew TV. So it was like, all right, this is my backup channel. Ended up eventually that
it was the backup channel. I was one. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow,
so Crew TV was always the backup channel. It was the vlog channel where I didn't really care about like, you know, making the videos like cinematic or like having a story. It was just more so like vlog and show my day.
Right.
So that
was this
channel
around the Casey Neistat time, or was this
no,
before
it was before that.
Really?
Before
Wow.
that, yeah. So it wasn't as like I said, it wasn't as cinematic as with that era.
Gotcha.
So from 2012 and then 2014, 2015, that's when vlogs really started to take off. And I had noticed that the vlog channel was starting to do. Excuse me, we just ate tacos, so it's like coming out. So I noticed that it wasn't doing better than my skits and stuff, but it was easier for me to make videos on there because I was doing daily versus the Qias Omar channel. I was only doing like 1 video a month because those were like bigger projects for me. But I never like found like I never like had my moment.
Right.
Like I had a good following. I was close to hitting 100K on Qias Omar, but I never was like. It was never enough for me to make it my full-time thing. And I wanted it so bad. Like, I wanted it so bad. Like, there was nights where I couldn't sleep because I just didn't know what, like, my life, like, meaning was. Right. And I knew I wanted this so bad. And I just never gave up. Like, I always kept doing it. I'm like, it's going to eventually hit. It's going to eventually hit. And on top of that, my good friend, Yusuf FusiTube, me and him kind of came up together. We went to high school together.
Oh, that's dope. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, cool. We went to high school together. He was in his first YouTube appearance was in my videos, and then he launched his channel, and his channel blew up. So at the time, I'm seeing my good homie's channel take off, and my channel's kind of be doing whatever. Like, again, I was still grateful for what I had, but it wasn't enough for me to quit my job at Nike or quit my job at Express. So there was always that jealousy, like, man, he's doing hella good. Like, we're good friends now. We've had fallouts back and forth over this world, but we've grown, and now that's a whole nother subject. But shout out to my boy Fusi, or as I know him, Yusuf. But yeah, so me seeing him take off and kill it and collab with like Roman Antwood and at the time one of the biggest creators, Vitaly, who's a weirdo now. Just seeing him with like all these guys, I was like, man, why not me? Why isn't my channel taking off? Like, why isn't my channel doing good? Like, again, it was still decent, but it wasn't enough for it to be like my thing. I wasn't in the spotlight. And I wanted it so bad. Like, I wanted to be that guy. So I just kept trying new things. And then one day I'm like, let me just do like a sneaker collection video, or it was like showing my newest pickups. And I did that on Crew TV, and it was doing better than my usual videos. Really? So I'm like, oh shoot, maybe this was it. And people think that I started doing sneakers because I thought it was like what is the thing, like
trending or popular?
Yeah, they thought I got into sneakers to make money, but no, I've always been into sneakers. Like, you can go back and watch one of my first Crew TV videos was. My very first Crew TV vlog, the one was actually the one we went to the event in Toronto. I bought the Kobe Galaxies there. So I show like, hey, I bought the Kobe's there. So I got the receipts. I've been a sneakerhead since the early days, but I just never thought to incorporate it into my content. And 2015, I started doing it. It started doing really well. Then I was like, hey, this could be my thing, the sneaker content. And then eventually it started to do so good that in September 2015, we launched Crew TV, and the rest just started taking off, bro. The sneaker content did so good. We started the Sneakerheads Be Like. That was huge. Sneakerheads Be Like took the Qias Omar channel to another level. Yeah. And then again, it just got to the point where I was daily vlogging. I packed up my bags, moved to LA to be around like social media creators and stuff, and I was doing daily vlogging. That was huge for me. That was around the Casey Neistat. I started doing my content like him, and yeah, that's kind of just what changed everything. And I guess I finally made it in the YouTube world. So
when was that first moment that you felt like you made it?
I think when I think it was like around. I always talk about that September when I moved to LA. Not necessarily like it wasn't like I made it, but I knew there was a shift in like I made the right decision and the future's looking good. Right. Because I was running 3 channels, they were all doing well, and brands were hitting me up. Like, that was my goal. Like, I used to watch Tony, I used to watch Hess Kicks, I used to watch Sneakerhead in the Bay, Bull. I used to watch all these guys, and I'd see them, getting invited to events or getting free shoes, or they did their collab with Saucony. I don't know if you remember when I was like, why can't I do that? So that's when I started doing the sneaker stuff. Oh, also Richie Lee. I remember I flew to a sneaker con, and Richie Lee was there, and I like went up to him and I said, "What's up?" And that was the first time I met him. But I wanted to get those same opportunities. So once I started getting stuff from the brands, or getting invited to events, it was all around that same time, like September 2015. That month was that moment for me. That's leaving everything behind in the Bay, my family, like sacrificing, quitting my job, and just focusing on YouTube and move. I literally packed up my car, found a roommate off Craigslist.
That's awesome.
And just said, "This is what we're doing. The channels are doing good. Let's do it. Let's go."
That's awesome. Yeah. Man. So when did you hit that first million? Was that around that same time, or did it take a little bit longer to get there?
I gotta get a sip of this drink. I felt like I was talking for like 30 minutes. Hopefully that wasn't boring, y'all.
No, dude, I loved it. Well, actually, that before you get to the question about the first million, I do want to ask, like, so I know I really started watching sneaker YouTube probably in 2015, and literally visibly, as I started watching, I knew about you, but then I started to see your videos more and more, and I saw this like meteoric rise that you were having, and you were sort of outpacing everyone. Like, and I've been watching people like Tony or Tom or Sneaker Talk or Wear Testers, and like all great people, all amazing content. But like you were doing something different, and it was very obvious.
It was the vlogs.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
It was, again, respect to all those guys that came before me, because I used to watch them and I wanted to be like them, but they were just at their crib reviewing the shoe. Right. I kind of switched it up by putting myself in the viewer's shoe, by like going and, going to the lineups for the shoes or entering the raffles or again making that like Casey Neistat type of vlog. And I felt like that was more like engaging and relatable to the viewer. Right. And I think that's why they kind of everything was taken off from me, because it was a different style of sneaker content.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and like, you know, gas myself up and be like, I changed it. But, you know, a lot of people's content changed after that. You
100%.
started to see a lot of people doing the vlog. I'm not saying I invented vlogging, because I didn't. But in the world of sneakers, it was never done before.
Right. No, and again, not to gas you up, but like genuinely, like I was there.
You can gas
it.
me up. I just can't gas myself up, because then I look like a dickhead.
Bro, like legitimately, it really was like you were always kind of that guy, at least in my mind. Again, not to gas you up, but you were always kind of that guy, at least in my mind. And you were the kind of guy that like people all aspired to be. And it was because you were doing things differently. You were getting a lot of views. You were getting a lot of opportunities. You were kind of living the dream, both in the sneaker world and in the YouTube world. And I'm sure it's still that way now. But like I know at that time, like it felt like almost like a movement. Like Crew TV, like all that sort of stuff, dude. The brands that the drops that you do, the collections you drop, or like you know, not to bring up the song that you and Tony and everyone has, but like at your booth, like you literally had a crazy line at your booth, and it was consistent. Like I remember the first time I met you, it was SneakerCon. I don't know if it was New York or what it was, but like for a split second, I was able to. And I think this is after we had done the Crew collection, so I was like, "Yo, I was in your Crew collection." Yeah. But like you were walking somewhere and you had this huge mob of people. I was like, "Oh, what's up, man?" You shook my hand, and then you had to keep going because it was like crazy.
Yeah.
And it literally felt like it was just for me as someone kind of coming into sneakers at the time and just into YouTube at the time. It was kind of a switch that flipped. That's like, wow, this is real. Yeah. Like this is legit. Yeah. And I think, you know, again, not to gas you up, but I do feel like genuinely that was a huge. You were probably the face of sneaker YouTube for a very long time and changed a lot of it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. No, it really felt like me and my boys talk about this. We felt like a freaking rock band or something. Like, and I'm really happy that in the moment I didn't take it for granted. Yeah. Because obviously I know for now if I go to a sneaker event, I don't have those crazy lines. Like I understand it. I try to be as humble as possible. And I knew in that moment it wasn't gonna last forever. I remember because I used to always be at the Crep Protect booths. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're sponsored by another sneaker cleaner anymore. Okay. No. So I used to always be at the Crep Protect booths, and they had the chairs for people to sit and get their shoes clean. Yep. I swear, I don't know if it's in my vlog or I don't even think there's any footage of it, but there would be times where I would stand on top of the chair and just look out at the crowd, and I'd just be like, this is fucking dope. Yeah. And I'd be like so grateful, and I'd be like, I would soak the moment in, and I'm so happy I did that because it's obviously it's not there anymore. Like the views aren't there as much as it was. Audience is growing up. People aren't watching YouTube. I understand that. Like I knew it wasn't always gonna last, but I'm so happy that I can look back and you know soaked it all in and was able to meet all those people who were like supporting me, using their hard-earned money to buy my merch, and like waited in those lines.
It was hours, dude. It was crazy,
bro. It was crazy, bro. It was so crazy. Like we really felt like rock stars, like insane. Like it was crazy, man. So shout out to anybody who ever like stood in my line or bought some of my merch, or even if you watch my videos, like thank you. Like trust me, I appreciate every single one of you. And it was good times, bro. It was really good times,
dude. I mean, I had always been into content, but like I think, and kind of getting back on this a little bit from the outside perspective, looking in a little bit, I think the reason it was like that was because you allowed people to be part of your life in ways that like I never did. Like I always did sneaker reviews. Like you're right. Like it really was showing your lifestyle, doing something that you loved. Like there's this one vlog you had that I don't know why I remember it so vividly, but it was a vlog about you picking up the Triple Black Ultra Boost, maybe the Uncaged. And I was just like, that was just, I think I was living in New York at the time. I think I'd bought the shoes the same day or something, but I went back and watched your vlog because I was seeing the experience in LA at the time, and it was such a cool, like different perspective that like no one else was really doing at that point.
Yeah. And going to like events and stuff, that was the benefit of moving to LA was like being close to all these events and stuff. I'll never forget I got my first invite to like a Jordan event. It was for like the flu games. Yeah. I was so happy,
That's
bro.
Sick, man. 2016?
It might have been 2015 or 20. When did they come out? 2016.
I think 2016, but I could be wrong. I think
it was 2016. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even think they gave me the shoe.
Oh, really?
Because I remember I got a fake flu game and that video took off for me. So they didn't give me the shoe. I was just happy to be there.
Right.
So and I had like some people hating on me back then. I'll admit that like during my time on social media, like if something's bothered me, I'd make a public video about it or like a tweet about it. And at the time there was like a event that happened in LA for like when NBA first took over the Nike contract. When Nike first took over the NBA contract with the jerseys, there was like an event in LA. And like they invited a bunch of creators and I didn't get invited. So I was kind of salty and I like posted about it and people were like, you're so entitled. Like why do you think you need to deserve to be there? You just want free stuff. And I was speaking from like, damn, I wish I could film this and show it to my viewers. Not that I didn't want free stuff. I didn't want to, I think Travis was performing, which I was a Travis fan since then. So that might have been the only reason why I was kind of salty as well. Or another reason why I was salty as well is because Travis was there. Right. But like, I wanted to be invited to these events because I want to show my audience what it feels like. Because before vlogs, we'd see like Complex at this Jordan brand preview, but it would just be maybe a couple photos and an article about the event. I was showing you a whole ass vlog. I was showing you the entrance, the experience, all the shoes on display in 4K. Maybe there was 4K back then. I don't remember. Yeah, 4K. Like I wanted to show people what it was like to be someone invited to those events. So it wasn't because I wanted free shit, guys. It was because I wanted to share it with my followers. I just wanted to throw that out there because I feel like I could rant on this and not get hate. If I were to tweet the same thing, I'd get hate. You know what I mean?
Well, don't worry. We don't get a lot of views on this podcast.
Hey, man, get the views up, man. Share the podcast, man.
But, like, it's interesting you mentioned that because it really felt like, and it still kind of feels like to this day, like, those events do feel like an experience and you do feel special going to those events. But like if you look at it from a broader perspective, it's truly just a marketing company trying to sell you their product.
Exactly.
Which is so interesting. And so it's like in a lot of ways, if you're not bringing out the most influential people to these events, like not only are the events not getting a lot of coverage, but also like a lot of people watch you and they want to know what you think about the new Jordans or whatever. You know what I mean? So like I don't, there are situations where I've seen people not get invited. And I'm like, that is kind of weird that particular person, or like maybe there's someone who's smaller, but they've got like a huge, I can't think of anyone in particular, but like maybe a brand's all about like New Balances or New Balances only. I think it's the Instagram account. I don't know. I don't have any stories about him in particular, but just someone like that not getting invited to a New Balance event if it was like in his city or something just doesn't make sense. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, and there's been times too where like I'll see an event going on in LA and I'll hit up like Cousteau and I'll be like, hey, did you get invited? And he'll be like, no. And I'll be like, if anybody deserves to be at those events, it's Cousteau. And then I'll be like, all right, if Cousteau's not getting invited and I'm not getting invited, I don't take it so personal. It just means like they're focusing on other people. But like Cousteau's like, to me, he's like one of the GOATs. He's like,
for sure.
He's like the perfect sneaker he does more golf now. But like at the time he was like, the go-to reviewer and the brands were giving him everything. So if he wasn't getting invited, I would be upset for him. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's like you said, it's marketing, and this is a whole nother subject, but like people still don't understand why companies have sent the shoes and here and there send the shoes, not as much as they used to. Guys, we're like a walking billboard for these companies. So they're not sending us shoes because we have followers and it's a loyalty program. They're sending us shoes because they want us to share it with the followers we have. So I still get hate for getting free stuff, and it's like, they're not sending it to us just because they think they people comment, they're like, oh, the rich get richer. First of all, I'm not rich. But they're not sending it to us just to have. They're sending it to us because they know we're going to share it with our followers, build hype on the product, and hopefully sell their product for them.
Absolutely. It's purely marketing. It's literally all it is. And they make decisions. And I feel like I'm not in the head of any of these marketing guys, but like I feel like they're very specific reasons. Like maybe one person gets something because they have a better relationship with that person.
Oh, 100%. It does happen. Yeah.
But like at the same time, like of course certain people are getting stuff because that's exactly the demographic they're going after, or that's exactly the kind of person they want rocking their shoe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, well, I mean, we were talking about it. Like they're definitely pushing female sneakerheads. So you'll see a lot more female sneakerheads getting stuff from Jordan Brand. 5-6 years ago, it was us getting stuff from Jordan Brand. I still get stuff here and there. Grateful for it, but you'll definitely see a lot more females because that's just. Be honest, that's where the money's at.
For sure.
Females spend way more money than guys do. So if you look at the world of makeup. they're making way more money. So
it's a crazy world. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so continue with your story. So you're on like this huge come up right now, like in the mid 2010s. Like this is right when like Adidas is dropping Yeezys. This is right when everything's going crazy. Like you're flying out to every sneaker con. Like so obviously you felt like you were living a rock star life. But what were there any like downsides? Was anything happening where you're like this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for this? Or
I mean, I gotta give a huge shout out to Yeezy because that whole shoe around that time,
right?
Those were bringing me in views and that was helping a lot. But I don't know. I mean, again, I don't think there was anything like that kind of was like. Would you say the downfall?
Yeah, like no downsides. Like was there anything because you always hear from I forget who the person was, but there's this one famous actor who's like, yo, if people could just see what it was like to be me for a day, they'd realize it's not as great as it.
No, you know what I mean? I honestly, I was very grateful for everything I have, and I was literally putting everything. I think that might have been the only thing is just putting everything in my life out there.
Right. And you're probably working crazy hours.
Yeah, bro. Like again, I was running 3 channels. I was doing 5 days a week on Crew Kicks.
Wow.
And I was doing daily on Crew TV, but I loved it. I have no complaints about that. Like I can't do that anymore. I'm an old head now. As my comment section says, I'm 40, but I'm not 40. I'm close. I'm not 40 yet though. I'm 36. But I loved everything about it. I think the only thing that kind of sucks is if you know me and you know my audience, I've always had some people who just don't like me.
Right.
I've always had that little bit of hate. And I get it. It could be from, the flexing or getting free stuff from companies, or it could just be like, there's a lot of jealousy in the world of sneakers because, again, we're all after the same pairs. We're all after the same stuff. So when you see some guy always getting the hype shoe, or you see some guy who's eating cereal out of a shoe.
I forgot you did that.
I wasn't the first one to do it, but I did do it. I wasn't the first one. All right. I didn't start that trend. I ran with it because everyone else was doing it. But I get that I could be annoying to some people because, again, there's a lot of jealousy in this world. So I think that might have been the only thing that kind of sucked, but I've been doing it so long that it never affected me.
Right.
There was a few people who kind of pissed me off and stuff like that, but there was never like, oh, I'm going to quit because of this. You know what I mean? It was just people. I understood that there were some people that just don't mess with me. And also there were certain times when I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this. And I can't wait to see people get pissed off.
Right.
There was times when I knew I was going to piss people off. But then there was times where just people didn't like, natural stuff I did. And there was one thing actually, like my niece, I had put her in a couple videos and people were like making fun of her. She's a toddler. She was like 3-4 months.
Wow.
And I'm like, bro, all right. So then my sister asked me to not put her in my videos anymore.
Fair. Yeah.
I don't post as much as I used to, which I'm sure we'll get into. But she's been in a few of my videos recently, and those comments are gone because, those guys just probably grew up and realized they're dumbasses. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, that might have been the only part is just having to not have certain parts of my life in my videos because I was uploading daily.
Right.
But, yeah, nothing too crazy, I think, other than that. I was very grateful for everything. And when you're uploading videos every single day, you're not focused on the one you just uploaded, you're moving on to the next one. So
totally. And when you were getting as many views as you were getting at that period, like it's hard to focus. Well, I guess it's not hard to focus on the negative, but like it's a lot easier to look past it because it's like literally everything's going right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, I don't want to. Never mind. I won't say that. I was gonna talk about the like when you're making money like that, you like don't really look at that stuff. But honestly, it was true. It's like true, money was coming in, bro. Like money was good. But again, like me and you. The whole AdSense thing about how like putting multiple ads on the thing. Yeah. I didn't realize that until like 2017, 2018. So even before we told you about it.
Yeah, I know.
So I could have been making way more money.
I know.
Tony told me about it.
I know.
And then
he tells me that he told you about it.
Yeah, and then we eventually told you about it. That's a whole nother. Do you want to talk about that or
let's
no?
talk about that.
Okay, let me take another sip.
Yeah, do it up. Yeah, it's funny because like Tony, I'll talk to Tony about like just monetization here and there. Like I don't talk to Tony all the time, but like when I do, we'll talk about like YouTube and everything, and like he'll always bring that up. He's
Tony's the most open person. Like he'll call you and he'll be like, "Yo, how much money did you make last month?" Stuff that you don't really like usually talk about, but I feel like all of us are kind of comfortable with each other.
I feel like it's good too because then you can kind of compare notes, and we all know, like we're all pretty self-aware to know like why certain things are working and certain people aren't. Like I'm not gonna think I'm ever gonna make the same amount of money that like Rami the Icon's making because I see see what he's doing. I see the views he's getting.
Well, we got to make those like 2-hour-long videos,
Bro,
man.
And get like almost 1 million views in every video.
Shout out to Rami.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love his content. But yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So me, you, Cousteau, and Tony got invited to an event in London.
It was the Adidas event.
Adidas event.
What were they? I guess it doesn't matter, but it was
I don't know. Pharrell was there.
Oh, yeah.
It was super dope that they flew us out there.
Yep.
I think it might have been like one of the times we actually like genuinely hung out.
Yep.
I think we were like in contact or whatnot, but
yep.
We were just talking about it too earlier. It was right when Fortnite came to the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
So we all downloaded the game and we were literally in the hotel room, maybe even trying to like update. Like it literally just dropped.
Yeah.
And I think in that same time that we were in that room is when we had this discussion.
Yep.
Because me and Tony were talking about how much we were making at the time. Again, not to like flex, but just to kind of learn off each other and see what each other's doing. And then Seth, your views were great, but you told us that you were making way less money, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
And then I think maybe your views were more than Tony's at the time, because we were like, Tony's making more than you, and you have more views, and you're like, well, blah, blah, blah. And we finally realized that you weren't putting multiple ads on your video.
And also, they paid us different amounts to go to the event, and I got paid way less.
Oh, that was the thing.
Videos.
Was that the main thing, or was it the ad?
Both of those.
It was
things.
both of those.
It was
things.
literally like that whole event, just that event in general. Like changed my life because I was doing. Was this 2017 or 2018?
It might have been 2017.
Okay, because I got fired from my job in 2018, and then that's when things started to take off. So it must have been 20, because I was about 100,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that's what it was. Now that I remember it,
bro,
it was the ad thing. But yeah, you're right. It was like we all talked about how much we got paid to be there. Mm-hmm. That's what,
bro. And I said I would do 4 videos. I'll just straight up sell the numbers because it's not much, and I don't feel bad about it. No, I feel like Adidas is never gonna send me anything again. But they haven't sent me anything in a while, so it doesn't matter. So I got paid $1,500 for 4 videos because I said, they're like, well, how? They just basically sent me this open-ended question, and they're like, hey, so how much, like, we're gonna fly you out, like, how much do you want? And I'm like, I don't know what to. So I call my dad. I'm like, what do I ask?
This was like the first big thing, right? Like the big company.
First time I ever got paid to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, I guess $1,500, but I feel like that's so much. Like, I'm gonna ask. I'll say like I'll do 4 videos. And so they wrote out this contract, $1,500 to do 4 videos. And I won't say what you guys told me that you guys were getting, but Cousteau was like, or maybe it was you. You guys told Cousteau when he walked into the room, and he was like,
remember.
What?
Yeah, he looked at you. He's like, what?
He's like, hold up, this is not good for everybody.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You need to change this.
Exactly, because that can mess it up for everyone. Because if one guy's willing to take this much and the other guys want way more, they're gonna go with the smaller guy who's gonna upload way more videos, right?
Right. And my views were good at, like, not, and I realize for a lot of people out there maybe watching, like 1,500, it's a lot. Like, I'm not saying it's not.
Yeah, we're not saying it's a lot, but
for the amount of views, like at that point, I was probably getting 80 to 100,000 views per video. That's 400,000 views, and if you see what brands pay for 400,000 views, like 1,500 is nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
And so like they were getting just a huge amount of value for basically not much.
And I do not remember how much they paid me for that event, but I was definitely getting a bag.
Yep.
I was definitely getting a lot more than that. I want to say maybe 10K. I don't know exactly, but it was maybe 10K for that. And on top of that, got to meet Pharrell, fly across the world. Like, I think, and this is some advice for creators, and I tell people this all the time. Even though that situation happened, even till this day, I still do stuff for free if I think it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Like that same event, I probably would have done it for free.
Same.
Just because I know I'm going to have a good opportunity to network with Adidas people. Pharrell's going to be there. We were designing a shoe.
Yeah, that was
I would have done it for free. So there are certain things that you should do for free because you don't know what's to come with it. And I always use this as an example. Lids. When I got connected with Lids, the hat company, they I forgot how I got in contact with them. They started sending me free hats, and I was every time they send me a hat, I'd post it on my story.
Right.
No paycheck. It's just, you know what? I wear hats. I'm gonna wear them. It's either I'm gonna buy them or I'm gonna get them for free. So I show love to them. But because they were sending me hats for like a good year and a half, excuse me again, the taco's hitting. Because they were sending me free hats and stuff for like a year and a half, and I was just showing love to them and, you know, always tagging them. Eventually got to the point where they're like, hey, let's do a collab.
Yeah.
So you don't know what it's going to lead to.
Absolutely.
Then I was able to get a bag by doing a collaboration with them. So we're not necessarily telling you this story to like make sure everything you do is paid for, or you make sure you definitely know your worth, but don't be afraid to, do some things to build a relationship or to get an opportunity in the future.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So
totally. And if they're offering to pay you, like throw out a number that doesn't seem reasonable to you, and they'll cut you down. Like they're not going to be like, you're insane unless you say like 500,000.
Yeah. I always tell people to like, how I like to start the conversation if they don't bring up money first. I'd be like, is this a paid opportunity?
Smart.
And they'll be like, unfortunately, we don't have the budget. If it's something I really rock with, I'll be like, okay, no worries, send it over. I can't guarantee that I can do it.
Right.
But, I would love to check it out. If it is something that I genuinely don't care about and I don't like want to really like go out of my way to review it or share it, then I'll be like, oh, all right, sorry, like I'm only doing paid opportunity at this moment.
Right.
But again, it really just for me, it's the brand. Like if I really like Jordan Brand has never paid me $1, but if they send me a pair of underwear, I'll take it for free because I'm just a diehard Jordan fan. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
And again, maybe one day they'll be like, hey, let's do a Qias Jordan 1. Like I'll be like, hell yeah. But but yeah, don't be afraid to like take stuff for free. That's not the point of the story, but the point of the story is to know your worth.
No, absolutely. I think that's a really good. People get it twisted sometimes, and they think it's great, and genuinely like it's your job, it's your profession, like it's what you do. And I understand that in some cases for huge creators, like you look at Logan Paul, who are getting paid hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars. Like in some cases the numbers seem ridiculous, but at the same time, look at the amount of influence they have.
Bro,
think of the money people pay into Facebook ads. Like at APTHCRY, we pour in money to Facebook ads, and so these big brands are pouring so much more than that, plus they have like a little bit of a budget for influencers, so of course they're gonna try, you know what I mean? So like it's literally business. And so in the same way that they don't really maybe there's people in the brand that care about you personally, but they don't care about you, they care about selling their product.
100%.
And so like in the same way that they don't care about you, should think, okay, what's best for me, what's best for
yeah. Also, side note, man, these people at these companies too, they be moving around.
They do.
You might have one person who's sending you stuff at Puma, and then it stops, and you're like, what happened to this person? And then you see him working at Nike next week, and you're like, damn it, I lost my plug, but I got a Nike plug. Exactly. You know what I mean? They be moving around.
They really do. And dude, they've like the same people. Shout out to Bima for was he at Adidas for a long time? Bima Williams.
I don't remember.
I know he's got the
the one that made the
he's got like the podcast and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he was at Adidas. I don't know if maybe I'm completely wrong on this. If you're watching, man, I'm sorry. I forget where I first met you. I think it was through Adidas, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, dude, and a lot of them will go and like do their own thing. Like they'll be a part of a startup or like they in the same way that we sort of move around in like different like genres and things. They move around too. Yeah.
Or now it's funny too, not to hate on them, but a lot of these people who work for these companies, they're even trying to be content creators themselves.
I know.
Like I see them making their reels and stuff, which is cool, man. At the end of the day, that's what social media is now. It's like just you got to make reels. You can't just post photos anymore. So
well, let's talk about that a little bit. So when did you make the transition? So obviously you're still making YouTube content. Like when did you make the transition to more of like Snapchat short form?
Well, Snapchat, I've always had a Snapchat, but yeah, they started their creator program where they are paying us. And I'm really cool with Monica over at Snapchat, who's basically in charge of like creator partnerships over there. So I knew her before she was even at Snapchat, through just like mutual friends. But
that's awesome.
She put me in the program, and she's like, hey, just start posting snaps. You already post on Instagram stories, like we're paying now. So I'm like, all right, cool, like let's do it. But one thing I found is like Snapchat is, if somebody follows you on Snapchat, they really mess with you.
Really? Okay.
Like, yeah. So it's basically become like a daily vlog. So I literally like basically what I was doing in 2015, showing my life every day.
Right.
But I'm doing it on Snapchat now.
Right.
And yeah, it's easy. There's no editing, and I'm able to connect with my followers in real time. And literally when I'm out and about, or if I go to a sneaker event, I'm getting more people coming up to me saying, yo, I follow you on Snap.
That's
versus,
cool, man.
Oh, I watch your YouTube. Like I still get the people like, oh, I used to watch you in 2015. And then they'll hit me with like, oh, I don't watch anymore. I'm like, don't worry. Like, I don't take it personal. I understand. Like, even I don't watch, I don't watch my old, but like Snapchat is just like, it's like a daily vlog, instant reactions. People respond. I like that there's no public comments, because
that's cool.
I think that some public comments can maybe stop people from commenting because they don't want other people to see your interaction with them. So every time people message me, I can respond publicly to them.
Right.
But some people just message me and they're like, hey, like, thank you, blah blah blah. It's stuff I don't want to make public, but it's just an easy way to interact with my followers. And then like it's also really cool, like I'll post like when a shoe restocks, I'll post it on my Snapchat, and that's people will be like, oh dude, thank you so much. So it's like stuff I wouldn't post elsewhere, because I'm not really like one of those Twitter accounts that says, oh, this just restocked this, but I'll do it for my Snapchat because I feel like they're the real ones.
Right.
But
That's
yeah,
dope.
that, and then also like you have to adapt. And I feel like I've been doing this since 2007. And one thing I'm very proud of is just being able to, adapt, and the longevity. Like, again, my YouTube is not doing as good as it used to, but I'm still doing reels, still getting like hundreds of thousands of views each month, millions of views each month off of short form. So being able to adapt to that whole, genre of content is something I'm really proud of, and focusing, like I was telling you, I make more money off TikTok than I do YouTube now.
That's wild. That's wild.
And it's just because people just want faster content, and it's just been easier because I'm getting older. I'm not able to stay up till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. editing. You know what I mean?
Tell me about it, yeah.
I'm not saying that I like it because it's easy, but it's just, it takes a lot out of me I've always edited and filmed and done everything myself.
Right.
I've tried to have other people do it, but it's not everybody can match your style. You got to find the right one, which shout out to your editor. You found the right one. But
shout out to TA Vlogs and Rad editing the podcast right now.
Yes. But for me, I just always find myself wanting to do it myself for YouTube. But now with short form, it's a lot easier for me. And it's people just don't have the attention span, so you got to adapt, bro.
Do you enjoy it as much as the YouTube content from back in the day?
Actually.
That's
I
awesome.
do.
That's awesome.
And also, it's like as I get older, this is one big thing, is like I was showing my whole life with all the vlogs. And as I get older, I'm not on Melrose every day running around buying shoes. I'm not freaking traveling and going to every sneaker con or Got Soul. Like, I'm going here and there, but there's just some parts of my life that I don't want to share now as I get older. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm happy about, is I do enjoy it because I don't have to worry about like showing everything. I could be more private, and obviously I'm married now. Eventually, we do want to have kids. Like, I don't even know if I want to share that with my audience. Like, there's certain things that I want to keep private and not.
You already have 5 kids. No one knows that yet.
Yeah, nobody knows, bro. Like, one of them's, he's like 22 years old over
he's
there.
filming right
now. So yeah, I'm grateful, and I am happy doing it because I don't have to do anything I don't like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's
there was
awesome.
definitely times on YouTube where I was very unhappy with what I was uploading, and I've made public videos about it, and people made fun of that. They're like, "Oh," but I was open with my audience.
Yep.
And I'm proud of it. I don't regret any of it because I was real with my audience. I was telling you, like, I'm struggling with this content. I'm not happy with where I'm at with YouTube. Now I'm kind of happy with where I'm at with my career and content, and YouTube has just kind of been like, we talked about it. Like, I don't want to make a bold statement, but this might be the last year that I upload on at least Crew TV.
Consistent basis, right?
Yeah, consistent.
You're still going to like upload.
Right now I'm only doing like maybe one video every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I don't know. I just feel like, I wouldn't consider myself washed on YouTube, but I think I run my course on there.
Fair.
And it's like when Lil Wayne just dropped his new album, and he's like one of my favorite rappers, but it's really hard to listen to because it's just not good. And I'm not saying my content isn't good. I know I could.
You just leave.
I know I could put out good content, but I don't want to force it.
No, fair.
I don't want to force it. You know what I mean? I don't want to force it. I know I can get brand deals on there and make money that way. Like, I know there's money there, but it's not as easy as it used to be. So I feel like I told you, we were driving and I was like, I think if I do continue YouTube, it will be for bigger projects. And maybe I'll just put it over on the Qias Omar channel, which was my first channel. Just keep the first channel going here and there, maybe one video every couple months, and then just let Crew TV have the history of my my glow up. Right. It's cool for me. And that's another thing I tell people with the vlogs is like, it wasn't necessarily for the views and the money and stuff. It was more like a memory, like all the memories I made on there. I could go back and watch, certain events or certain jokes that me and my friends had, or, going to London for an Adidas event. Like, I'll always be able to go back and look at that. Or when I have kids, I'll be able to show them like, look, your dad was pretty cool back in the day. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's like thing that I'm proud of with that channel, and I don't mind letting it be and not forcing it anymore. So
right. I actually really like that point that you brought up about your kids seeing it, because they literally get to see. Like, I always wondered what it was like. I was born in '92, so I always wondered what it was like for my parents to be, you know, chilling, doing their thing in the '70s and '80s.
Exactly.
And now our kids can literally, for both good and for bad, see what we were up to.
Yeah.
In that time frame. It's crazy.
I always look at photos of my dad with like his like '70s like opened up shirts and
yeah.
stuff like that, but there's no videos. We don't know what they were like, you know, how he spoke or what he was really like. So yeah, my whole life is pretty much on the internet, and you know, from everything from proposing to my wedding. To,
is that right here? You proposed?
That
right
was
here
actually, I was over here. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's I can look back at everything and show anybody I want, which is really cool. And you know, one day I'm not gonna be here anymore, and hopefully people can go back and watch my life. And it's kind of scary to think about, but it's also pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
No, I really love that.
Yeah.
So what's the future like for you? Like, what's coming up?
A few collaborations in the works.
Dope.
Content is always going to be content, always finding new ways to, you know, review a certain shoe and keep it cool and, you know, relevant to the audience. And but yeah, I got a few collaborations. I just showed you one, the sneaker.
It's crazy.
There's a sneaker coming,
and it's like I won't say anything, but like it's legit, and it's a legit brand. Like, this is like, it's huge. Like, this is crazy.
This is no joke. Let me make the disclaimer. It's not a Qias Omar collaboration. I just got a really cool opportunity to be able to design a colorway of a certain shoe with a certain brand themed around a certain city. It is an LA-based shoe.
That's sick.
But yeah, I'll be teasing that July 1st. So I don't know when you're posting this.
Probably, actually, probably around there. Yeah.
I'm not wearing the brand, unfortunately.
Those gallery departments are sick.
Yeah, these are gallery, but maybe it should have some stripes.
Yeah. Oh,
we'll say that.
Let's go.
All right,
let's go.
Stay tuned. But yeah, just always finding new ways to do new projects. I have a few other things outside of sneakers and stuff. I'm trying to do more business outside of social media.
Dope.
And then obviously, you know, I launched my brand, Good Days Gallery. I swear I didn't wear this on purpose. I literally am in shorts. Today was cleaning day, by the way, and I didn't realize that. So Mina's a clean freak. So she said, please clean. She didn't say it this nicely. She said, please clean. I usually do my portion of the crib, and she does her portion of the crib.
Yep.
She took it easy on me today. She said, just dust and vacuum, and then you're good to go.
That's great.
So that's why I was 10 minutes late, but I literally just threw on my stuff and came over here. But
let's go. I mean, I feel like everyone who's married probably understands that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Do you wash dishes?
Yeah, not as much as I should.
Okay,
but I do.
Yeah, I have to wash dishes because I don't cook. So she does all the cooking. That's awesome. I wash the dishes. I forgot what we were talking about before this though. Married life, guys.
Yeah, married life. Oof, we got to do a whole podcast on that.
100%.
Next time I'm in California, I'll do it for that. But yeah, so what you got going next? You got the collab coming up.
The brand. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, Good Days Gallery. Good Days Gallery is something I launched in September of last year. I wanted to make a brand that wasn't necessarily about me. I've always had Dream Crew, which I've done some really dope stuff with, for like sure. Stance collab. Oh, sorry, it's a competitor. New Era collab, Diodora collab with Foot Locker. We Are Underdogs. Oh, they're out of business. So I've done a lot of cool stuff with Dream Crew, but I wanted to make something where it had nothing to do with me. So people who don't even know me could be like, oh, that's a cool shirt. I'll buy that.
That's awesome.
I feel like with Dream Crew, you have to rock with me personally. But with Good Days Gallery, I wanted to make it for everyone, and I wanted to be about like paying homage to the good times, to the good old days. It used to be called Good Old Days, but unfortunately had some legal issues, had to change the name. I'm okay with it being called Good Days Gallery, and honestly, I prefer it Good Days Gallery. I kind of
rolls
like
off the tongue a bit faster.
Yeah, I feel like it's a really cool brand that could be a streetwear brand as well as a nostalgia brand. So yeah, working on that, and we had you guys make the sock. I'm wearing the sock right here.
There we go.
Exclusive to the website. We might be working on another collaboration.
Could be.
Yeah, so we're working on another collaboration, but yeah, that's been fun too, because again, it's not just for my audience, and I can do stuff that anybody can relate to. And yeah, just I don't know, man. With this world that we're in, you might have an idea tomorrow, and that might be your main focus. Like that's how I am. Is like I might be focusing on this, and then the next day I'm like, oh shoot, I want to do this, and you know, we have the opportunity to be able to do it because we're not, you know, trapped in a 9 to 5.
Exactly. Like, you could literally have a post go viral about something random, and then it's like, wow, that maybe that's the way I go.
Exactly.
Now.
Yeah. And that's a whole nother subject that I don't even know if we're gonna have time to talk about. But
next time we definitely.
I've been playing with food content.
Yeah, dude.
We were talking about you and tech content, and yeah, I feel like this is my little bit of advice for you guys. Find the thing that works for you. Like for me, it was sneakers in 2015, and it still is till this day.
Right.
But sneakers just, you know, it's not guaranteed. Like you guys have seen, like sneakers are just not doing good right now. So how can I like try other stuff? Yep. I love food. I love eating, and I only eat halal meat. So I'm someone who, like, when I travel, I try to find a really cool halal restaurant.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, why don't I just do reviews of certain halal restaurants and food spots, and the food content's been doing good. So it's like, all right, I'm not going to say I'm going to become a full-time foodie content creator, but why do I have to limit myself to sneakers?
Totally.
So don't limit yourself to one thing. Try different things, because you never know. Like you said, you never know what's going to pop off, bro.
You never know. Yep. Dude, well, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it. Dude, this was a blast. Dude, and seriously, and next time you're in Philly, dude, we got to have you on again.
Dude, 100%. Bro, I feel like we didn't even scratch the surface.
I know, dude. It's crazy. Like, in my head, I had all these questions, and we were just having such a great conversation.
Well, what time is it? Let me see.
I don't know.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
we're over.
Okay,
we're over.
Guys, check out Qias on all his social media platforms.
They're
all linked below. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
I had a good time. Had a good convo.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Oh, no, let's rip a pack.
Well, okay, so for everyone watching on YouTube, stay tuned, because we're going to be we usually do sock shopping on the channel, where you come through and you can pick out anything you want from the warehouse. But because we're in California, I brought some mystery bags.
Hell yeah.
So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to stay tuned. If you're listening on Spotify or YouTube or wherever, Spotify or Apple Podcasts, or whatever you listen on, thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week, and also subscribe on YouTube so you can see this.
Hell yeah.
Which one do you want?
That middle one's calling my name. So these are mystery, yeah?
Mystery bags. So I packed them like a week ago. I don't remember what's in them. It could be good. It could be bad. Well, it's never going to be bad, but it might not be exactly what you like. I don't know.
All right.
We'll see.
I'm excited, man.
Let's go.
I genuinely mess with the brand.
Thank you.
I'm going to do them one by one.
Let's see.
All right, let's go. We got a black
joint. Those are actually at the time that we're filming this, these haven't dropped yet. Black Cement 3 socks.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I like that. Hell yeah. Black Cement. I can even wear this with the Reimagines.
You could, yeah.
Switch it up. Flip it up.
There you go.
All right, first one. Let's see what we got here. Okay, we got like some like script graffiti.
Oh, the graffiti.
Vibe.
Nice.
We're going to open them up.
Let's go. Black and red for the bread.
This is just a regular, or is this a collaboration?
It's just a regular. I think all of these are just our like collections.
I actually like that one a lot.
Oh, sick. Thanks. Thank you.
Oh,
this is our Cinco de Mayo pair. This one sold out like crazy.
Did it really?
Yeah, it did. It's based off a Serape blanket. Dude, I had no idea. I thought, so we do holiday stuff a lot.
Yeah.
And like sometimes it does really well, sometimes it doesn't. But this one is the best holiday sock we've ever done.
Have you ever seen the Mexican blanket Kobe lifestyle shoe?
No.
Google it, bro.
Bro, would it go with those?
It would go perfect with these.
Bro, I had no idea.
I think it's a Kobe. I forget which model. It might have been a Kobe 9 lifestyle shoe or something.
Okay.
It's one of the Kobe's, but it's a lifestyle shoe, and it's literally a Mexican blanket upper.
That's sick. That's so sick. I didn't mean to give you all black and red.
No. This one.
The metallic 5s. There we go.
Oh, this.
Yeah, that's great, because literally one of them I packed with sneaker socks. I didn't realize that it was gonna be yours, but I'm happy. That's great. That's great.
Metallic 5 is probably my most worn shoe this year.
Let's go.
It's definitely gonna be top 5.
Let's go. Top 5.
Oh,
top
yeah.
5.
You know what might be my sneaker of the year?
Ooh, what's that?
The Kobe Air Force One. Have you seen them?
Really? The tan ones that are coming out? They're sick.
I got them last week, bro. They are sick.
These are Sashiko.
Okay.
Stitching, yeah.
This is sick.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
My favorite is metallic.
Let's go.
I gotta go with the sneaker.
Let's go.
Ones, but thank you, bro. This is hard.
Dude, appreciate you, man.
Hello?
Bro, that's such a good clip. We're gonna clip that. But dude, thank you so much for coming on again.
Of course, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for the socks.
Of course.
Part 2 soon.
Part 2 soon.
Let's run it.
Go, man.